What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm finally going to be going over the Dragonflight talent tree for Warlock, specifically Affliction in this video. Um, I am beyond impressed by what they've done so far. They brought back a lot of things on my wish list, such as Wrath of Consumption, Soul Flame, Soul Rot, or 2-piece, 4-piece, Decaying Soul Satchel. They brought back so many awesome things that I'm just super excited to kind of talk about this. So I'm going to show us three different trees here. I'm going to do one for single target, one for Mythic Plus / AoE, and one that's kind of a hybrid of both if you're playing in a fight where there is, one target with periodic adds. And I'm going to show you how powerful this tree actually is because it covers every single situation, which is really awesome. So starting off on the general side here, um, just taking Burning Rush, so you can have Burning Rush always, which is super sick. You get 3% damage reduction, which is also really sick. You get Soul Leech, which passively recharges for half your maximum HP per second, which is awesome. Accrued Vitality, which is okay, but you generally want Gate since Portal is like super useful in most situations. Taking our spell lock here, so our kick is now on us and not on our pet, so that's really awesome that we have an actual kick now. Demonic Embrace, 10% health, really sick. Filling the Soul Shard increases your haste of your primary pet, just some extra pet value. No reason not to take something like this. Wrathful Minion, filling the Soul Shard increases the damage done on your primary pet. Again, just extra damage, not really a reason not to take this. Grabbing Gateway here, Coil, 6% health, so here we get 16% bonus HP just from our general tree. Sweet Souls is back, which was a thing from Legion, and it was always super good, and it's just as good here. Basically, it's a defensive cooldown. If you are getting low and someone else is getting low and they pop a health stone, you also just heal to full health. And it is just pretty insane talent. We get Dark Pact, so we get Dark Pact and Burning Rush, which is probably what we've all been asking for forever, is Burning Rush kind of baseline. So I'm very happy to have both here, because Dark Pact is an insane cooldown. To like have 1 minute, does a ton of shielding. So here we have Strength of Will, Demonic Durability. I go with the 45-second reduction. So bringing it like close to 2 minutes 15 seconds is pretty good. UR is pretty strong as it is. I don't really think you need it unless there's a fight on progression where there's a massive hit coming and you know it's coming. Then maybe you take this, but in general, like having it up more often, you get more uses out of it. It's probably better. Grimoire Synergy is back, so we get our legendary just on our tree, which is also pretty insane. Here I did not grab Banish or Shadow Fury, mainly because it's either super useful or you never use it on a fight. So like if it's a single target fight, you're most likely never going to use Banish or Shadow Fury. If there is something that you need to stun, someone will probably grab that. You can kind of orchestrate with your raid, but yeah. You can kind of skip these unless it's like there's something you're going to have to banish, or there's something that needs an AoE stun on a fight. Soul Link, so every class has Soul Link. This is really sick for Affliction because Affliction does take the most damage out of the 3 specs right now, because Destruction has its damage reduction from its Mastery, Demo obviously has Soul Link, so Affliction didn't have anything. Now having a general Soul Link is really awesome, makes all Warlock specs really tanky. Soul Conduit, so we're just getting Soul Conduit for 15% chance. As Affliction, you will definitely take that, since our Soul Shard generation is strictly from Agni. Summon Jailer. Don't know if this is going to be good yet, or how this works. But basically when we see it, we can kind of tell if it's worth taking or not. Right now I'm taking it because it looks pretty cool. Just some extra damage button you can hit that does, you know, damage on whatever cooldown. Decimating Bolt is back, which is awesome. Just really good single target ability. Um, Necrolord Affliction is crushing it right now on single target. Um, so just getting this back for a talent point is definitely worth it. Soulburn, it has its uses. Instant cast gateway can be really useful in raid if you need to cast it. And Healthstone increases the healing of Healthstone by 30% and increases your max health. So it's also just kind of having Healthstone as another defensive. And I assume that if a Healthstone is popped with Sweet Souls, you just get this value also. So you can kind of have this buff more than once in a fight if multiple people in your raid are using a Healthstone. Pact of the Eridar. Malefic Rapture increases the damage of Agony by 10% for 6 seconds. I mean, this is probably close to 100% uptime because you're casting Malefic Rapture so often. You're getting Soul Shards back with Soul Conduit and stuff, so really sick. Dimensional Rift. So in Legion, this was the artifact ability for destruction. This generated Soul Shards fragments as time went on. I don't know how it's going to work for Affliction. It might just be a button that you hit 3 times and it does extra damage. If that's the case, it's fine. But we will see if this ends up generating shards for Affliction or not. So that's kind of the general tree. This is pretty much what I would go with in most situations. I think Curse of Enfeeblement is baseline, so you can actually grab Felldom or grab anything else that is connected to this tree if you really wanted to. So basically we have 1 extra point here to spend. The only thing I have to say I don't like about this tree is that Accrued Vitality is connected to Demonic Circle. That's just kind of a weird choice. I think they should just be swapped places here. Having Demonic Circle here, because it's more likely that you're always going to pick this, and just grabbing 2 points for it maybe balances the tree out, but it also seems kind of useless because you don't use Drain Life that often. But as other specs, as Affliction you use it a little bit more, but as Demo and Destro, like, you almost never use Drain Life, so it's just kind of weird to have Demonic Circle under it. I would just swap these two personally, and then the tree would be like perfect, but we'll see what they do. Moving on, so we have Malefic Rapture, UA obviously. So Xavian's Teachings, Corruption is instacast and instantly deals spell power damage. You're taking this just because of the instacast part. Right now, Corruption is like a 2-second cast if you don't take this, so you don't want a hard cast Corruption. That seems really bad. We have Writhe and Agony. Agony starts damage at 4 stacks and can ramp up to 18. Phantom Singularity. Siphon Life. So these are all the stuff that we're kind of used to. We get Nightfall back. ID. Soul, Drain Soul. Shadow's Embrace. You know, this is kind of all what we have right now. However, we get Soul Swap, and this could be pretty good on pure single target. Or you can drop it for maybe like a point decaying Soul Satchel or something. We'll have to test it out, but being able to apply your dots right off the bat, so the fight starts and you're just instantly able to apply 3 dots in 1 global. That seems like it's pretty good value, right? So you can precast your haunt and then soul swap, and you have all of your dots on the target and you can just go. You don't have any ramp up time. You can just go right as soon as the fight starts, which is something that we haven't been able to do. Affliction has always had that ramp up time, and this kind of like gets rid of that completely. So the only thing you have to apply is precast haunt and Siphon Life, Phantom Singularity, and then Soul Rot, go. So it's much faster getting your damage off at the start of a fight. So from here, we're taking Sacrilegious Dark Strike. You need to take this for Dark Lair, but also it's just 15% extra corruption damage. No reason not to take that. Summon Dark Lair. So we're getting Dark Lair back. Down here increases the damage of each damage over time that is on your target. Dark Lair doesn't do that much damage. It actually does like no damage if you check your breakdown. But if this could be good if they significantly buff base Dark Lair damage. But as of like how it looks right now, if they're keeping it the way it is, Dark Lair does not do significant amount of damage, so buffing the hell out of it doesn't really do anything. You're better off going with other talents on this side. So we have Shadow's Embrace, like I said. We have Withering Bolt back, so one of our conduits. Really great single target. Harvester of Souls, just taking that because you need the points. It's just a little bit of extra proc damage. Nothing too crazy here. Soul Rod is back. Super awesome. Malefic Wrath is also back. Our legendary ability for single target. So if this is a single target talent tree, you're going to definitely be taking this. Deathbolt is back. However, it's changed, and it's not changed in a good way compared to what it was in BFA. So it costs 3 soul shards. It has a cast time, and it's another dot. And here it kind of has things to buff your Deathbolt. It's a lot of investment for something I don't think will be really good. But who knows? Maybe they buff Deathbolt a lot, and it could be like the go-to single target. But I think this setup is just more consistent. It's not reliant on cooldowns at all because it's just about your damage of your dots the whole time and extending your dots. But we'll have to see on that and how Deathbolt plays out because it could be good, but we'll have to see. Soul Rot, obviously. So here is Deliberate Malice and Crescendo. These are 2-piece, 4-piece that we currently have on live. Definitely going to be taking that on single target. You're getting free Malefic Rapture costs on draining your target. Here is a really interesting row that I really like. So you grab Haunt. Damage of Haunt, is whatever. Haunt doesn't do that much damage anyways. You're really taking it for Haunted Soul. So your Haunt spell increases the damage of your damage over time effects to all targets by 20% while active. So the all targets is pretty key. So that means this works in AoE so long as you have Haunt up on a target. But Haunt is a 15-second cooldown. It lasts for 18 seconds. So you have 100% uptime on this Haunted Soul. So it's literally just 20% more damage on your dots the entire fight, which is just really sick because you can have permanent uptime on Haunt. If you're taking this, you are obviously losing Decay Soul Chill value. But on pure single target, this doesn't really do too much anyways. I'd rather just have the extra damage here. I'll get more into the mixed tree when we get there, but for pure single target, I think something that looks like this is going to be crazy good. You're getting so much value. You're getting Decimating Bolt, you're getting Soul Rot, you're getting Haunt, you're getting just stacking multipliers on your dots, so it's just going to be really good. Moving on to our AoE tree, so this is more of a Mythic Plus setup here. The only difference that I took in this side, I think, is Pact of Annihilon. So Seed of Corruption deals 10% additional damage to targets affected by corruption. So we're going a Seeds build here because we're going for a Mythic Plus / AoE setting. 10% additional damage on Seed. We'll take that. Seed is one of our main damage dealers in AoE. So let's get through this here. So obviously we're taking Seed and sow the seeds. We have a new thing called Agonizing Corruption. So Seed of Corruption Explosion increases the stat count of Agony by 2 on all targets hit. So the way this is worded, I'm not sure if this means if Seed of Corruption is sowed onto one target and it blows up, then it hits, then it applies the 2 stacks to that target. Or if there's you know, 3 targets stacked up, and you have Sow the Seeds hit all of them, and all your seeds pop, then you just immediately get stacks. That would be pretty insane. But regardless, we'll go with the theory that it only applies the 2 onto the 1 target that it blows up on. So Writhe and Agony, obviously taking this. Xavian Teachings, taking this, obviously. Instacast Corruption. So Vile Taint got changed, and now it applies Agony to all targets. So our AoE opener is Precast Seed into Vile Taint. We don't have to manually cast Agony on multiple targets anymore. We can literally just pop, Seed, Vile Taint, UA, and then like pop a Dark Lair and a Soul Rot Dark Lair and have our dots on every single target. Once again, just completely negating that massive weakness of Affliction, which was the ramp up time. The reason why Sow the Seeds build was so good in Legion, and it was so good in Season 2 of our current expansion, Shadowlands, is because you were able to just instantly demand damage. You didn't have to ramp. And that is just super powerful and what makes Affliction like really, really strong. So we're taking Absolute Corruption also, permanent corruption in AoE. Definitely want that. We're taking 1 point in Soul Flame. Soul Flame was really broken in Legion. I don't think it'll come back as strong. I don't remember the spell modifier percentage in Legion, but this is just some extra AoE, so there's no reason really not to take 1 point in it. If you don't want to take this, you could probably just drop it for Soul Swap, but I think the extra damage is probably just worth it in Mythic Plus. Moving back over here, we're taking Nightfall. Inevitable Demise, super good in AoE. We Soul Rot, we can get 50 stack of Drain. That just adds even more value to our AoE, because right now we're not running in ID in keys, right? You're running Drain Soul, but now you get both. So you are literally just getting extra damage using this combination of Soul Rot, Drain. Taking Shadow Embrace, you still want a little bit of single target damage, right? For keys, just because you don't want to be full AoE, you do need to do some single target. That's why I grabbed Withering Bolt here. I grab Haunt and Malefic Wrath. You probably will only use on bosses, but it's probably worth the 1 point. There's not really much else that you could get for 1 point of value. You don't want to invest into the Hunt tree because your main ability is coming from seeds, so your damage over the time effects don't really matter as much if you're seed spamming. But instead I went Soul Rot, Decaying Soul Satchel, and Creeping Death. And why you are going Creeping Death is because you just have permanent corruption, so the only thing you have to really track is UA and Agony, which really isn't that big of a deal. So you're just getting your dots ticking faster for free, essentially. Wrath of Consumption, really good in Mythic Plus. Sometimes you can chain it from pack to pack, so you're still getting 15% extra damage on your dots just from killing stuff in Mythic Plus. And obviously we're taking Dark Lair here. So moving on to our final tree. This is a mix of single target and AoE. This is a situation where maybe you're on a boss that has add spawn in a certain amount of time, every like 45 seconds or 30 seconds or so. So our general tree is pretty much the same. We are taking Seed of Corruption. If we really wanted to, we could take Sow the Seeds, but we're usually just taking Seed to spread the corruption to multiple targets. Saving Teachings, obviously, so we're taking the same points that we would here for single target, Siphon Life, stuff like that. Instead of taking Phantom Singularity, though, we'll just go with Vile Taint. Once again, AoE ability, cast Agony on everything. So here we just spread corruption with our Seed of Corruption. Vile Taint, and then all of our dots are already on the target. We can maintain our single target dots on the boss, so you can maintain your Siphon Lives, your Haunts, etc. Taking Soul Rot, and here I went for Malefic Rapture setup here, and Wrath of Consumption. So you're basically using the ads to funnel into the boss. You could take the King Soul Satchel instead of this Haunt tree here, but I don't think the value is as good. You're getting extra haste and crit for 8 seconds on a 1 minute cooldown, or you can permanently have 20% dot damage. 20% dot damage is just obviously better when it comes to that. So here I'm taking Haunt. This also applies to all targets that are hit, right? So your Haunt spell applies, increases the damage every time effects to all targets. So as long as you have Haunt on the boss, and you have your, your seeding, and you have Vile Taint on the ads with Soul Rot, then you're just doing 20% more damage over time to all of the targets. So you really can just still funnel into the boss with Malefic Rapture and just keep hitting boss because you're going to be cleaving anyways. So with this setup, you're able to just funnel into boss. Ads die, you get stacks of Wrath Consumption, you can drain them, and you can get soul shards back, and you can just spam Malefic Raptures as they're out. You're getting good value with Soul Rot and Inevitable Demise, so you're able to chain that. And then once, like I said, Haunt, able to get 20% extra damage to all targets. This row is pretty sleeper OP, I think. Just on the fact that Haunt is 100% uptime, if you're playing correctly, this row is pretty insane. The King Soul Satchel, obviously it's something that we're used to, something that's very good. I just don't think it beats out 20% dot damage. Yeah, this is the Affliction tree. Let me know what you guys think. I will plug in the talent calculators in the description below if you want to kind of reference it back and look over it, maybe add or change some things. Let me know what you think on the talents. I mean, I think this was super exciting. I am pretty happy overall of what they did, and I'm really looking forward to Dragonflight. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.